Is Haji Daily and Mickey Mo join us this evening on Thursday, and we are a little bit late on our show today due to some technical difficulties, but we're here, right? Mickey, you here? You can
Right.
hear me?
I,
Okay.
I, I don't take any responsibility for anything that has the word technical involved in
There we go. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. Thank you for joining me today, Mickey, my friend. Mickey Mo.
it. Hey, thanks for having me. I always appreciate talking to you, Haji.
We got some interesting things we are going to be talking about today, including the Minneapolis 2040 plan.
Oh my gosh. How many times did you get asked about the 2040 plan in the
When I was running for city council one
when you were
night,
running for city council?
I did so many times.
It was such a dumb question because nobody understands what a 24 what a plan is. A
Well,
comprehensive
I had some idea, but yes,
yeah, I don't know who that question is being asked for. Basically, it's like a buzzword, for like environmental activism and environmental justice and people who like bike riders and
come
bike.
on now. Mental health issue is a serious issue, though, so we can't make fun of that.
Was mental health a part of the 2040 plan?
I don't know. You tell me. You
I
said
mean,
that.
in that the implementation of it would affect people's mental health in a negative way, maybe. But yeah, it was such a dumb concept to try to wrap up. And then they give you, and they're like, hey, in 60 seconds, tell us what you think of the 2040 plan. I couldn't tell. It would take more than 60
There's
minutes.
only one person who had. Well, there's only one person who had all the answers for that, and that was Jason Chavez.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Basically,
had the
just
booklets
forget
and
about the
booklets of
facts.
answers. He had all the answers for
Yeah,
every questionnaire.
yeah.
So he was ready to go. I'm sure they gave him a whole manual on how to answer these questions plus the answers. So he had it. He had the plan. Jason had the plan for 2040. So what's going on with that? I think we should share it. I think people should see.
Well, I mean, every time I talked about it, I tried to be clear and explain that the 2040 plan was bogus, that it was improperly conceived, that it was a political plan instead of a community based understanding, and that it was wrapped up in so much litigation that it was likely never going to move forward anyway. But people didn't want to talk about that. They didn't want to get into the weeds and into the details of it. And here we have it. We're barely 6 months into this new term, and yeah, a judge has said that yeah, this 2040 plan was
Yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah,
bogus.
yeah. I want to read that out. It says here. I'll make sure I don't get an echo. I always get echo back. I don't know. I hate it when that happens. That means people cannot hear me properly. But hopefully, I can stay away a little bit longer. 4 fingers from the mic. There you go. So this is from Star Tribune, Minneapolis. Here, 1 second. Here, I think I need to go from the beginning. All right, Judge Holt's implementation of Minneapolis 2040 plan. And Brian Lamb wrote this article. Minneapolis cannot enforce its controversial long plan eliminating single family zoning, but it could do so in the future if it meets certain conditions. A Hennepin County District Judge ruled Wednesday in a lawsuit brought by a trio or environmental organization. At the heart of the legal case is a question of whether the city needed to complete an environmental review of the 2040 plan or evaluate each construction project individually. Go ahead, man.
Well, that was just this particular legal case. There are multiple legal cases making their way through the court system because this plan was just I can't stress enough how it has deviated from all of our plans in the past. In the past, we had a process that involved community input, that involved forward thinking, but realistic thinking that was completely apolitical. But this time, for this plan, it was 100% political. There was basically zero community input, and it took our city in a direction that we've never even tried to go before, involving elements that just don't even belong in a plan like this. And it was doomed from the start. And any reasonable, unbiased, nonpartisan, educated, intelligent person that looked at it would say, yeah, this is ridiculous. But yet because politics doesn't need to be educated, because politics can be emotional, especially in an activist oriented city like Minneapolis, because
So many, so many activists in Minneapolis.
people can latch on to
I
concepts.
think all these activists, there's just too much concentration of activists in Minneapolis. They need to spread out.
It's unrealistic.
They
Nobody's
need.
saying, and Minneapolis has a long history of being exceptionally forward thinking, progressive, tolerant, all the good qualities that you
I
want
don't
in a
think the
city.
people we have now are tolerant. I don't think.
Well,
I think.
that's
I
part of the
think.
problem. When you go too far to that side, when you go too far to that extreme, your own activism can lend itself to intolerance of reasonable, rational thinking. And that's what's happened in this city. Instead of being reasonable about issues like bike lanes, we've gone to the extreme. We want to have the most bike lanes in the country. We want to have so many bike. We want to put all our money and resources and efforts into making bike lanes the incredible. Meanwhile, there's nobody out there riding the bikes. So who are we doing that for? 0.001%
Even
of our
even the,
city bothers to ride a bike.
even the police are not riding. Even the police are not riding the
It's
bikes.
just ridiculous. You can't. Most of the year, you can't ride a bicycle. And I mean, for the people that are disabled or have children or are doing things that you just can't ride a bicycle for, what are they? They're ostracized now. That's who we're being intolerant of. Are the people that can't ride a bike? You know, Haji, I probably never told you this. I can't ride a bike. I have a knee problem. If I could ride a bike with just my foot or one of those hand
You
pedal
need those
bicycles,
new electric bikes. So they got these bicycles that have electric motors, so that you can ride around. So I don't know how.
absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that there are workarounds even for people like me. But the point is, there are a lot of people, the vast, vast majority of people, and I don't mean 51%, I mean 95% of our city isn't interested or qualified or able or willing or
Too many activists demanding too many things, which sometimes can be okay, but they need to spread out. They all concentrated in one place, and they need to spread out. So if they want to spread the gospel, like Jesus,
well, it's
how
one thing to
I think we
incorporate.
should only have 12 activists, like the 12 disciples.
You know, it's one thing to incorporate the needs of the few into our greater plan.
Right.
It's another thing to cater specifically to the needs of just that group at the cost, at the to the consequence of not being able to help everybody else.
All right, my friend. Let's move on. We were talking about the statewide election that are going to be happening sometime this year. We got the local state election. We have the house election. We have the governor, and we have so many other happening. Seems like we never really get out of elections. We just had an election of city council last year. Now we got another
It's a big
election
year,
going
though.
on. Yeah.
It's a big year because our state, the control of the House, the control of the Senate, the control of the governorship is really in question. There's no guarantee that the Democrats are going to hold the House. There's no guarantee that the Republicans are going to hold the
Oh,
Senate.
I know why they're not. I know what. I know why. I know. Maybe Senator Omar Fatah have something to do with it. Maybe they will lose the Senate.
And
I don't
anything's
know.
possible. There's no guarantee that Tim Walz will be
Oh,
reelected.
wait. They have. Oh, they also have a care candidate running for Senate. Zainab, go ahead.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah.
It's my opinion. It's the way I look at it. But
Yeah.
go
No,
ahead.
but it's true. But
It
it's
will be.
true. I mean, the influence of some of these groups, these political activist committees
Uh,
and
Time after
lobbyist
time,
groups.
no, let's call it the way it is. Time after time, Zainab has stood and spoken and has actually been a leader of CARE Minnesota. So she is running for the state senate.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
Yeah. I mean,
agenda she's going to.
and she
She
has
has.
made it clear that her priority
It's
is
CARE,
care and the issues
and
that
I
they
have
care
no
about.
problem what CARE is doing. I think CARE is a great organization, but I just have a problem with Zainab and CARE leadership. That's all. I mean,
Well, it's again, it's one thing to incorporate the issues of that particular community into your overall plan and planning.
it's not
It's
about the
another thing
community.
to specifically say, "I'm gonna
Care has never
prioritize
been
them."
Care Minnesota has never been about the Somali community. They have uh, it's been about one individual who leads Care Minnesota. It's all about him. Everything is around him. You know, he wants to be the numero uno, the beginning and the end, and then he's got little friends like Zainab that he wants to run for office, and
It
so that
moves them
they
around
win.
like pawns, uses
Yes,
them like pawns.
exactly, and that's what it is. I know a lot of our Somali community are not supportive of the leadership at Care Minnesota. That's the truth, you know. So, but they can mislead whoever they want to mislead. But anyway, we're talking about the control of the Senate and the House. So, like I said, who do you think is going to win? Who's going to have the majority control of the House?
It's difficult. It's difficult to do the numbers and process the end result. I mean, turnout is going to matter a lot. It's a big election for Minnesota, but it's also not a presidential election.
That is what happens usually when there is no presidential election. You know, Republicans tend to win the House and the Senate, both hold the majorities until
In
next
many
election.
cases, the what do they call it? The gerrymandering of these various districts and
Yes,
jurisdictions has created a situation where the end result is a foregone conclusion. We already know whether a Republican or a Democrat is going to be elected in a lot of these different districts. But because of the importance now of the primary
yeah.
and determining who is going to carry that mantle of the DFL or Republican endorsed candidate, that becomes the real election. So we might know the answer to all of our questions by August.
If we go to the governor race, I think Tim Walz and Peggy have a high approval rating. I think they will still stay put. I think we will have a governor, a Democratic governor.
It's possible, but
That
what about turnout, Haji? I
I know
mean,
and a lot more people go vote for that for governorship, right? I don't know.
who's
Maybe
who's being motivated right now to come out and vote in November for the governor?
I think the Democrats and a lot of other group of Democrats are very motivated to make sure that I think Tim Walz has a high rating compared to the other two guys who are running against. And I'm talking about Scott Jensen and Mert Burke. I don't think they are highly approved. Although right now it's a dead hit as of the last poll about a
Right.
week ago that was taken. It looks like it's very cold, very. It's going to be a very close race. So we'll see about the turnout. I know a lot of people work hard to get the turnout they want, and I'm sure Tim Walz and Peggy will get the vote out. Hopefully they, I like them. I'll be honest with you. I like him and I like Peggy. It's just that I don't like, some other things, but I like their leadership. I think they're two great leaders. I think they, uh, I hope Tim wins and Peggy. Yeah, I've lost.
Well, I'll tell you, it seems to me, this is just my impression of both Minnesota and kind of more of a national trend. It seems like people are more motivated to turn out if they can affect change.
Right.
And right now, because Tim Walz is the current governor, change would mean electing somebody else. So I hope that issues such as the Roe v. Wade concept and the whole January 6th hearings, I hope that those issues motivate everybody to turn out. The highest possible turnout from everybody is always the best circumstance that we can hope for in an election.
And this is the best segue to Trump. Trump fumes as Republicans ignore January 6th panel. Republicans want to ignore the committee hearing, but Trump is increasingly criticizing the lack of defense being waged in his name. Washington, this is NBC News. Washington Republicans in Washington are betting that the televised January 6 hearing aren't breaking through, that voters are more worried about gas prices and inflation, and that basically no one cares. What do you think?
Well, I don't know what his defense. I don't know what he's imagining his defense would be.
I think what he wants is he wants the Republicans to defend him, not the party. They want he wants they want he thinks they're way too quiet in defending Trump. It's all about Trump. It's been all about Trump, and I kind of I wish it was different. But anyway, go ahead. What he's complaining about, what Trump is complaining about, is nobody is coming to his defense, even though what he did was wrong.
I don't understand. I don't understand what possible defense he has to offer. This is really a whitewash. Get caught red-handed with your hand in the cookie jar situation.
Yes.
The evidence is ridiculous. It's just a
Overwhelming,
mountain of evidence,
overwhelming.
and it's all pointing in the same direction. There's not two sides to this story.
He wanted to steal an election. That's what it's coming down to. Trump wanted to steal an election, and you had Congress men and women, asking for pardons as part of this conspiracy to run with this election and try to overturn in states like Georgia and Arizona and Michigan, and it's clear. And,
every person I hear testifying before this committee is a Republican, a Trump appointee. I mean, they're connected at the hip to the Republican Party and to Donald Trump specifically. And they are absolutely steadfast in their belief that what happened was wrong, that the concept of the fraudulent election was complete nonsense and BS. And they've really left, in terms of a defense, they've left Trump no legs at all to stand on. And, this is aside from the financial crimes that he's already being investigated for that seem to be pretty substantial. So I don't see any way out for the guy, whether or not anything happens to him, ultimately in terms of legal ramifications, who knows? But in the court of public opinion, outside of those people who are just absolutely shielding themselves from the information, of which there are quite a few. But outside of those people, I think he's completely lost his ability to connect with even, the hardest core Republican voters. There's still that group of Trump supporters who just have blinders on, who believe anything he says, no matter how outrageous and outlandish. And those people don't care. They're the Jim Jones followers of today's era, and that's fine. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But the larger Republican Party as a whole can't possibly continue down this road. It's just not tenable.
It's not tenable. It's dangerous, and it has never happened. I never thought in a million years that someone will, in America, I'm a new kid on the block. I've been only here about 27 years. About 20 some years, not 27, but about 23 years I've been here in the USA, and I've seen how the system works. And it's kind of shocked me a little bit to see a sitting president will want to, attempt a coup,
So publicly, so brazenly.
Yeah, brazenly, so public. Yeah. So it's kind of shocking. I never thought in a million years that it will happen in the USA, but I guess, I'm not surprised anymore. What I hear and what's going on, I'm not surprised anymore. And I hope that if indeed, as is being shown and it's being proven without any reasonable doubt, that Trump and his allies did want to excuse me, attempt a coup. Excuse me again. So if that is, and there's evidence, then somebody needs to pay for it. Somebody needs to go to jail for it. Anyway, this is my friend Mickey Moore. Him and I here today talking to you guys. Few other things that we wanted to talk about, and I think we are done for now. Hopefully you can join us again next week for more. Mickey, you want to close out? What do you want to say?
Well, this was a bit of an abbreviated show. We're definitely going to have a lot more of these shows. They're going to be a lot fuller, a lot longer, a lot more.
A lot more experience.
Right. Well, this was we had some technical problems. That's going to happen from time to time. I hope people bear with us. But throughout the summer, there's a lot of exciting things going on. I was
Oh
working with
yes, oh
I was
yes, oh yes. I wanted to
I was
share
working
that.
with the Don Samuels campaign today. A lot of energy, a lot of excitement. We're very, very hopeful that there's going to be a change in CD5 in terms of the direction of leadership, the type of leadership that we've been getting. And that's meaningful to me. That's meaningful to everybody in Ward 9 who has suffered from a lack of leadership over the last 4 years due to the poor and irresponsible representation that we haven't been receiving from our current representative. So I'm very excited about that.
We're gonna have a debate about that. I hope that Don comes on to this show, Ilhan comes on this show. We have sets of prepared questions. We can talk about that. See, I hope we can have them here on this show and they can debate and see who best will represent the 5th congressional district. You and I have been candidates before. Well, I didn't go through with it. I kind of ended up endorsing Ilhan Omar for that at that time, right?
I forgive you for that.
Yeah, so I mean, my endorsement is still on our website, I think. I don't. So until I withdraw, until my support changes, I am still supporting her for now. I haven't had anything new. I think things are still the same on our end. So hopefully, I can get down here. You can get down here, and we can get to hear from him. As you
Well,
know,
I can guarantee my guy.
yes. Okay, I will
You
reach out
find,
to
you
Ilhan.
figure out how to get your guy.
I will text Ilhan Omar and ask her to come to my show with Don, and we can all have this conversation. 4 of us can talk and have questions, and hopefully she says yes. If she says no, we'll still have Don coming on the show. I want to hear. I want to hear from Don. Hopefully he can come on the show, and still we have a long way to go. The primaries are coming up very quick, so as soon as we can get them here and we can have that conversation, I'm open. I'm open to changing my mind. But as it stands right now, my endorsement is still on on our website. So anyway, my friend, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, and we're gonna continue having them like we show. Check us out here at Haji Daily and YouTube as well, and as well as Twitter. We are live right now as we speak. Thank you very much, my friend Mickey Mo, for joining me this evening. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. See you next time, buddy.